We know, John, that's the point. Why doesn't the United States government know? It seems silly. I mean, it feels a lot like the Chinese spy balloon. It was like, oh, we don't know. It's not a problem. Then we watched it go all the way across the country, and we kept hearing, we're not really sure where it came from until we saw it popped and, floated down over the ocean.
That's not quite how it went. We were pretty honest with the American people that we knew it was Chinese, and we knew that where it was going to go. And we were pretty comfortable, given the analysis, that there wasn't going to be an intelligence threat by it. And we shot it down once it was over safe waters and wasn't going to hurt anybody. But back to this. Why don't we know? I wish I could tell you exactly why we don't have an answer for you here in the afternoon on the 13th of December. But I can tell you that we are working on it very, very hard to know, because we want to answer those questions the same as those folks in New Jersey want answers to them. And we are working on this very, very hard. We are now applying. There was an interagency conversation this morning about this topic, where we have now decided to employ some additional technology to New Jersey and some additional personnel to try to get a better sense of what these things are. And as I said yesterday, Martha, as soon as we know, we're going to.
I hear you. This is shocking. I got to tell you, this is shocking. Okay, and I'm not the only person who feels this way.
Let me calm those nerves. We have not seen anything unusual. We have not seen any unusual activity. We know of no threat. We know of no nefarious activity. I want to repeat that. We have not seen anything unusual. We know of no threat or of any nefarious activity. And let me explain. People are reporting sightings of drones. It is very common for individuals who think they see drones to actually see small aircraft, and we have a case of mistaken identity. Also, we have 6 different people reporting what they think is a drone, and all of a sudden we have reports of 6 drone sightings. So there's some duplication. I have been in touch with Governor Murphy every day. Our experts have been in touch with the New Jersey State Police every day. What we have done is we have deployed our state-of-the-art technology. We've deployed our experts to New Jersey. That technology has not confirmed any drone sightings. In addition, it has confirmed that some reported drone sightings are, in fact, small aircraft. Pilots have not reported seeing drones. That's not to say that there aren't drones flying in the air, but we have no concern at this point with respect to a threat or any nefarious activity. The reality is you can have a 15-year-old kid who buys a drone off the shelf and puts it up in the sky. We have not seen drones turn their lights off in the dark. We have not seen drones penetrate restricted airspace. Those are 2 indicia that would give us a cause for concern. Wolf, I want to let the American people know right now that if we learn of any cause for concern, I will be back in this seat and explain to the American public why.
They're low. They fly fairly low, some of these. It just, I think, is amazing that the White House has no idea what's going on. I think that makes people feel really unsettled. In New Jersey, they sent out an intelligence bulletin, I should say, issued in December of 2024 with recommendations for encountering downed UAVs. And it says, a downed or landed drone should not be approached. It says, request hazardous materials response unit or local hazmat team. And then it says, request the nearest bomb squad. Do you agree with those recommendations? If one of these things comes into someone's house or lands in their yard, or they have to deal with it?
Yeah, look, I haven't seen that directive, but all that makes perfect sense to me as a former military person. If something like an aircraft of any kind lands in your backyard or close to you or your family, call the authorities. Don't approach it. You don't know what it is, and you don't know what kind of fuel might be on board. You absolutely should just call the authorities. Make sure you report it. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. You don't want to get hurt.
Okay. One last question for you, and it's in another area. It's in the Middle East, where obviously, John, there is a lot going on. There's a new headline in the Wall Street Journal today that suggests that the incoming Trump team is considering many options, including airstrikes in Iran, because Iran is working very hard, according to reports, to escalate their ability to make weapons-grade uranium, to move up their calendar, because they see everything collapsing around them and they want to secure enough material for nuclear weapons. And they are not ruling out the possibility of airstrikes. Is that something that the Biden administration would consider doing, given this sensitive time frame, while Iran is very vulnerable and exposed?
I'll tell you one thing, and you and I have had this conversation before, so what I'm going to tell you, you've heard me say before, but I think it bears repeating. President Biden has made it very clear we will not allow Iran to achieve a nuclear weapons capability, and we will not take any option off the table to prevent that outcome. I'm not going to speculate here today and tell you what will happen or not happen over the next 40 some odd days, but the president has been crystal clear. They will not be allowed to achieve that outcome, that kind of capability. And we want to make sure on the national security team that he has all the options available to him to prevent that sort of outcome.
So are you saying President Biden would also consider airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities before his term is up?
President Biden has made clear that Iran will not have that capability. We had tried to do this through diplomacy. Obviously, that didn't work because the Iranians were not willing to negotiate in good faith. All other options remain available to the president. But again, I won't get ahead of his decision making.
Let me just ask you one last question on the drones. What's the time frame? Like, I can imagine, when you go back in there, it's like, when are we going to have answers on this, folks? What do they tell? What are you hearing? Like, we'll know something in 24 hours. We're going to know something in 36 hours.
We want to know now. We want to know now. And that's why the president has charged his team over the last couple of days to get more granularity, to get more information, and to get more resources to New Jersey so that we can start to do better triangulation.
And Connecticut and Maryland and California.
We are working on this very, very hard, I can assure you, but I couldn't give you a date certain. I mean, it's going to depend on where the investigation goes and how much more resources we can apply to it.
All right, John Kirby, thank you. We appreciate you taking the questions.
And our next statement coming in for Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. It's a slap in the face that the Pentagon continues to tell the American people they don't know who is flying the drones over New Jersey. Let's get this next video clip up here for everyone to go ahead and check out. Here we go. Find and play.
Well, number one, I'm going to call it total bullshit that no one knows what these are. And I think it's a slap in the face to the American people to say they don't know what this is. They can track down a guy that just killed a CEO, but they can't identify what nightly drones are and where they're coming from. I think that is absolutely disgusting to lie to the American people like this, and the truth needs to be told about it. Secondly, if they're telling the truth, then this country is in horrible shape. We're all in danger. I mean, seriously, if our great government can't identify what these drones are, they're flying every single night, that people are sitting out there videoing with their cell phones, then no American is safe. And I have no respect if our government cannot say what these are.
So if we don't know who they are, right, so it's got to be somebody else, or they're just not telling us and they know who it is. And some people have said maybe it's, for an adversary. What do you think?
I seriously don't know, but I think they know. I think our Pentagon knows. Our Pentagon should know, right? The Department of Defense absolutely should know. And I'm not privy to that information. We're not in control yet. But I'll call them a bunch of liars, and I think they're full of shit.
Because they're saying they don't know. So it's like, if you don't know, then...
If they don't know, they need to resign in shame. That's what I think. And we need people in charge that can know what this is. But I don't buy it at all.
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you
Wanna
shoot
know
them
the
down?
truth?
Received an
They're very,
intelligent briefing.
they're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster.
Have you
I've
been- have you
decided
received
to
briefing on
cancel
that?
my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.